Alrighty, welcome back, my cosmic cunties. I am Tiffany, your host, and today I will be guiding you through the week of September 29th through October 5th for the weekly energy check for the astrological transits that are going to be happening. I am pre-recording this, so I'm also doing this on the fly like I did last week if you watched it. I'm also not I'm personally holding my mic, so if I come in and out, I am so sorry. I am practicing how to utilize this while, doing all the things, reading all the things, and keeping y'all together here. It doesn't look like it's going to be as an intense week as it has been the last couple of weeks. However, I do want to remind everybody, my intention to remind you is that just like I mentioned the last week, we're still having the dust settle from the eclipse portal. So things are still not, you're not in the clear quite yet, especially if you experience shadow periods more intensely than the actual portals. So yeah, just be cautious of that. Also, Mars is in Scorpio, so that tends to be a bit spicy. Try not to be the spicy one and try not to take things too personally. I know that's easier said than done, but hey, don't say I didn't warn ya. I don't have the cards this week to read to you guys for the universal intention that I like to typically do. But what I will do is I'll give you a little treat from the Wee Moon calendar. Since we just entered into fall equinox last week, I am going to read you a poem I believe it's by Mahata Thomas. If it's not, okay, yeah, the art is by Sue Ellen Parkinson. So, okay. This is titled Fall Equinox. As sun fades, we taste its sweetness and the fruits from second harvest. The air cools, we prepare to turn inwards. We are busy processing produce from our gardens, and we grow an awareness of inequity in the world. Cultivate an equanimous? I don't know if I've ever known how to pronounce that. Sorry, guys. Mind during the season of equal dark and equal light. Focus on what brings you peace in the moment. Stave off despair with gratitude. Sing even though the state of the world has broken our hearts. We must find a balance between our boat-rocking rage and the harmony that both our hearts and the earth long for. The earth leads us into fall with grace. Our colors change, and we let go. Old beliefs become compost on the forest floor. We are suspended in time between what was and what will be. We release and receive abundance. We honor any grief that arises. Feel deeply. Look to the eagle overhead. She is calling you to shift perspective, lift your spirits, and keep your wings expanded. Learn how to fly above it all. Ooh, that was beautiful. Mahata Thomas. Wow. Equanimous. Girl, I'll figure it out later. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's wing it, shall we? Okay, so it looks like Monday the 29th, we have the moon moving into Capricorn. It's a waxing half moon in Capricorn, and it's moving from Sagittarius, and that's happening at, I'm just going to give you guys PST because I'm tired of translating this stuff, or PDT rather, 2:55 a.m. And then we've got the moon that's going to square Neptune, and that's a couple hours later. So moon squaring Neptune, that's going to be giving us kind of like this internal energy or emotions, perhaps, if you're awake, of feeling dreamy, of feeling like in La La Land, a little Piscean energy, never hurt anybody. And then we're going to have the sun square moon later in that afternoon around dinner time. Sun square moon. So moon, again, is our internal world. It's our emotions. It's also our subconscious. And the sun is our being. It's our light force. It's our energy. It's our essence. And it's going to be squaring each other. So we might feel a little at odds with how we're feeling about maybe who we are or how we're showing up in the world. Or it might be a little bit of like, oh, why did I just say that? Or did I really just speak what's on my heart? Is that really how I feel? So just be aware of kind of like that energy and how that's working out or playing on Monday. But overall seems like a pretty, excuse me, simple energy. So just to touch base a little bit on Moon and Capricorn, we're going to be a little bit more kind of regimented with our emotions. We're going to be a little bit more, I don't know about hard on ourselves, but it's kind of more like, okay, no. Like, we don't need to like mull this over and like relish in it. We just need to move forward and kind of like giving ourselves that inner daddy discipline of like, chill out, calm down. So yeah, that's Monday. And then September 30th, Tuesday, my mommy's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you so, so much. I, as this comes out, am on a cruise with my mom, and I am just so excited to be there with her. And I've been going through the fucking hammer lately, and to be with my mom for a whole week, just her and I, when I have other siblings and she's married, it just really feels very special, and I'm so excited. So anyways, on my mom's birthday, we have the moon trine. Sorry, I can't quite read this. Venus. And then we also have the moon square Mercury and the moon oppose Jupiter. So the moon trine Venus, it's happening at 5:20 a.m. PDT. And so we're feeling loving of ourselves. We're feeling loving of others. We're feeling like we are enjoying ourselves and what we have to offer, and that we're being loved up, and it's feeling yummy and it's feeling good. I mean, Venus is the planet of love. Moon is our emotions and our internal world. Trine is a benefic. It's a benefic aspect where it's feeling good. It's feeling light. It's feeling like yummy. And then later in that evening, 8:38 p.m. PDT, the moon is going to square Mercury. Like I mentioned, in a couple hours later, it's going to oppose Jupiter. So our internal world on Tuesday, we might be feeling like we can't speak our emotions, or we're struggling to speak what's on our heart. We might be speaking before we fully know how we feel on certain situations, or other people can be doing that as well. So, a lot of this information that I give you guys every week is really to help you become a better person and to be more aware within this world of what might be going on. And so when I give you this information, it's to help you individually who is consuming this to show up better in the world. However, this also means that other people might be showing up this way in your world. So you may be like all, self-aware and been like, okay, this day's gonna be hard. Let me be easy on myself and others. And then someone else that's not as self-aware or able to like take care of themselves is going to show up in the way that I am mentioning. So just know that I'm giving you guys this information so that you guys can show up as a better person in the world, or at least more informed. However, the things that I am mentioning to you can be happening to you because someone else might be feeling that way or someone else might be acting that way. So just keep that in mind. The moon is opposing Jupiter later that night. So Jupiter's expansion, it's optimism. And with it opposing the moon, we might not be feeling as expansive. We might not be feeling as optimistic. We might be feeling a little more pessimistic than normal. But yeah, maybe you're in bed by that time, so it'll be A-okay. Wednesday, October 1st, we are going to have the moon move into Aquarius. I like how I could tell my voice got a little bit excited because I just fucking love Aquarius. Shout out to my best girl, Jess, and to my other best girl, Emily, my two best friends from elementary school. They really taught me how to love an Aquarius. So anyways, moon moving into Aquarius at 12:51 p.m. PDT. Moon in Aquarius, our internal world. We're thinking outside of the box. We might be a little bit more in our head than in our heart. and we might be feeling a little more like, oh, how can I help the world? Like I want to do something more on the humanitarian route, or, just some like group think versus like, well, me. So that's good. That's beautiful. We need more of that. And then we've got Mercury squaring Jupiter at 1:59 p.m. PDT. So Mercury squaring Jupiter, communication. We're maybe feeling a little bit of struggle in our ability to communicate fluently. Maybe we are trying to get a point across and we're feeling a bit of restriction on the conversation expanding either our point of view or someone else's point of view. Maybe we go into a conversation and we're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna learn so much from each other. And then it's like, ooh, this is turning out wonky. So just pay attention to that. Pay attention to like feeling like you can't communicate, or maybe pay attention to others around you that are struggling to communicate and have some compassion for them. Then we also have the moon trining Uranus, 3:05 p.m. PDT, moon, internal world and our emotions, trining Uranus. So trine is a good thing. Uranus is the unexpected. So maybe we're going to feel a little jolt of excitement or happiness that goes on Wednesday in the afternoon. Maybe we're going to feel like, I'm trying to think of a good scenario. I mean, I feel like the one I just gave is kind of like it. Like that is what might be happening. The moon conjunct Pluto, 3:29 p.m. PDT. So this is happening around the same time as the moon trining Uranus. So conjunct Pluto, that's really like shadowy, feeling like some darkness on our emotions or around our emotions or how we feel. And so it might be like, oh, I feel good. Or when this happens because of the trine Uranus, or like, oh, that made me feel good. Or like, look at me. And then like, oh shit, why do I need that approval from somebody else? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's like, ooh, like expect the unexpected, feel good. But then in return, you've got the shadow of like on your emotions, like, oh, why did that make me feel good? Like unexpectedly, like that's kind of weird. So I don't know. I honestly, you guys, when I do these, like right now, I'm just reading this and I'm like, oh, this is like what's coming to me. I'm very much so an intuitive astrologer where I'm using the knowledge that I have, obviously, but I'm also like intuitively receiving information. So I'm so curious how this information hits for you guys every week. If you take the time to listen, if you could please write in the comments whether or not any of these days or any of these aspects or transits made sense for you or actually happened to you. I'm so curious just because I want to know like how these transits actually affect people. I'm a researcher by heart, by nature. So just let me know. Okay, on Thursday, October 2nd, which by the way, we're in October, y'all. Like, first off, favorite month. It is so crispy. It's so fall. I am that white girl that loves pumpkin shit. It tastes so fucking good. But I'm also an Ohio girl. So like, that's just built in my blood, baby. I'm from the Appalachia ancestry. So like, your girl loves crunchy fall leaves and pumpkin. I can't help it. I used to love a cozy knit sweater with high riding boots, but not anymore. Okay, anyways, moving along. Thursday the 2nd, the moon is squaring Mars. I think that's the one thing that I'm kind of like nixing on this week where I'm winging it. Is like I'm not mentioning the signs, and that kind of gives us like I'm mentioning the moon signs, but when it's working with another planet, it's pretty important to pay attention to what the planet is or what sign it's in. So going forward, I'm going to talk about that, and then I'll go back to these other days just to kind of like round up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that I already went over. So Thursday, moon square Mars, and the Mars, like I mentioned earlier, is in Scorpio. So this is spicy, you guys. This is hot. This is basically on Thursday. Don't try to enter into any serious conversations. Just don't. And if you gotta, just journal the shit out of it, because squaring is friction. Mars in Scorpio is spicy as hell. And then it's about our internal world. So it's like acting out on our emotions in like not a pretty way. I don't know. Do what you got to do. Go get yourself a massage. Go lounge by the pool. Whatever your vice is. Just be easy on yourself and be easy on whoever you're with, okay? It's just this transiting energy. The sun in Libra is trining the moon in Aquarius. So sun in Libra, we're all about like balance and partnership, and we don't want to shake the boat, and it's trining the moon in Aquarius. So we might be wanting to find some balance out in the world in groups of people, and wanting to kind of make sure that everybody feels welcome on that day. And also like wanting to fit in, or like feeling like you are fitting in, because it's a trine. So feeling like you are fitting into the group and that you are loved and cherished exactly as you are and the way you are and as who you are, just for being yourself, as we all should feel all the time. Okay, Friday the 3rd. We have got Mercury opposing Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. Mercury is the planet of communication. So Chiron is in Aries retrograding. So we're doing a lot of reflecting on like our self-expression and who we are and how we show up in the world, and shadow aspects of that, or ways that maybe we don't show up authentically. We're really working on that as a collective and individually likewise. And that's opposing Mercury, the planet, and our ability to communicate. And so we might be feeling like it's really hard to show up and express ourselves as authentic. Like maybe we're like, okay, I'm going to try to like speak my truth. And then you're just like hit with like opposing energy, basically. Like maybe somebody is like, no, they don't feel it, or maybe you're showing up and it's not authentic, and then you're going to be met with like, maybe you're being called out. Like, are you sure that's your truth? You know? So, I mean, it depends on who you're with and what you're saying and how serious it might be. But the more that you have like Aries in your chart, or the more unhealed you might be, or not comfortable with expressing yourself, the more that you are going to struggle on that day. I can never remember these smaller planetary transits. Like Mercury, I know, moved recently. Where are you, Mercury? Oh yeah, okay. Mercury went into Libra back on September 18th. So Mercury being in Libra, that makes sense. Opposing Chiron and Aries, they're opposites. So another way that this can play out is that you're wanting to have like a balanced communication and fair communication. You don't want to ruffle any feathers by communicating, but your wounds might be rearing their heads and being like, no, but me, like this isn't fair for me. And so maybe you're feeling like you can speak up on your behalf. That sounds pretty on point there. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. Okay, Moon is gonna trine Mercury at 11:15 a.m. PDT. This is void of course Moon, so the Moon is currently during that point in time transiting from being in the sign Aquarius to moving to the sign of Pisces, which it'll officially do at 7 p.m. PDT. The Moon trining Mercury. This is actually happening at the same time as it is opposing Chiron. So the Moon in Aquarius, are kind of like not really fully in a sign, just like out in the void, is trining our planet of communication, which is in Libra. This is good because this helps us combat the opposing Chiron and Aries force a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more, it might not make it as spicy as it potentially could be to communicate your authenticity or stand up for yourself. But then later on, we've got the moon moving into Pisces, as I mentioned, and the moon is going to square Uranus. So squaring is friction. Uranus is expect the unexpected. So we might be feeling pretty emotional. And we might be feeling like kind of like back and forth on, how we feel about certain things. If you're in San Antonio, go to Southwest Elixirs and get a smoothie bowl. I've tried smoothie bowls all over the country, and it is one of in my top 5 favorite smoothie bowl places. Go support them, small business. So yeah, you might be feeling kind of unexpectedly emotional on Friday evening, or unexpectedly dreamy or creative. But it might be a little ping-pongy because it is Uranus, and it's square. So maybe you might be feeling a little hard on yourself for being too dreamy or being too emotional. Okay, Saturday, we've got the moon trining Mars in Scorpio. So moon and Pisces trines Mars in Scorpio. So we're feeling emotional, and it's trining our Mars and Scorpio. So both of these are water signs. We are feeling very emotional, very spicy, but we're also maybe feeling like we're not being hard on ourselves for being emotional. We're feeling like we can express ourselves emotionally to others. Like, hey, the way that this played out on Thursday, for example, when the moon is squaring Mars, actually didn't feel too great. And so you might be a little bit more supported to have conversations like that on Saturday the 4th. And then the final day, Sunday, October 5th, we have the moon opposing Venus at 4:34 a.m. So the moon in Pisces opposing Venus, which Venus is in Virgo. We're wanting to be loved in like a very grounded way. We're wanting to be taken care of. We're wanting to be like someone to like treat us hospitably. But like we're feeling like kind of emotional, and so it's maybe not coming out that like maybe we're wanting that or feeling that like we're wanting to be loved in that way, but we're not able to express it, or it's not happening the way that we want it to happen. It's an opposition of each other, so they're not working together here. Venus and Virgo really likes to be lavished with. I think of Virgos as very hospitable, like perfectionists. Like, I'm going to provide you everything. I'm going to cook the meal. The meal's going to be perfect. I'm going to clean the house. I'm going to decorate it. It's all going to be perfect. I'm going to take care of myself. It's all going to be perfect. But then our moon, our emotions are super sensitive. Pisces, our creative, our intuitive is opposing that. So it's like we're wanting those things, but we're not receiving them maybe. Venus is the planet of feminine energy and receiving. Then we've got the moon trine Jupiter, 10:15 a.m. The moon trining Jupiter. So this can be pretty expansive. I would say be careful how you're feeling on Sunday morning. Jupiter's going to expand whatever you're feeling. So if you wake up feeling like poo-poo on Sunday, then it's going to be expanded. So just make sure when you go to bed on Saturday night, trick your subconscious that you wake up in a positive mood. I did that last night again, and I woke up this morning exactly how I said I wanted to wake up, and it's life-changing. I'm going to keep doing it every night. That's my tip and trick for you to wake up on Sunday and have those emotions expanded for you. Actually, speaking of, today that I'm recording this is Thursday. Oh my God, I knew it. Wow. So I was talking to you guys just now about the 5th on Sunday, about moon trining Jupiter. And I was like, it's going to feel an expansion of whatever you feel like waking up. And I was like, that kind of feels like how today feels for me. And so I just looked back. Today's the 25th and it's moon trine Jupiter. That's hilarious. Okay. And then moon is going to conjunct Saturn, 5:30 p.m. PDT, void of course. So the moon at that point in time is moving from Pisces to Aries. It'll be officially in Aries at 9:48 p.m. PDT. So the moon not really being in a full sign and conjuncting Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces right now. And so we might be feeling intensely about how we're feeling. Like, it can be so many different variations or ways. Like, oh, I really like this person. Why do I like this person? I should not be dedicating any of my time to this person, any time to anybody else but myself. I'm not even in a relationship with this person. Or it could be like, oh, why do I feel this way towards this person? Or why do I feel this way about this situation? I shouldn't be feeling that way about this situation. It's like really disciplined and like constructive criticism, which is a good thing, constructive criticism, but like on our emotions. So it's kind of like, ugh, don't feel that way. Especially Pisces. Pisces it's emotional. It's water. It's the wise water. So yeah. And then after the moon moves into Aries, it's going to conjunct Neptune at 10:28 p.m. PDT. So we've got a conjunction in Aries with our emotions and the dreaminess. This is fine, honestly. I don't think this should be affecting anybody too significantly. Like, we might be feeling like, oh yeah, I get to take charge. I want to go take charge and I want to lead and I want to do this and I want to get this done and I want to make this happen and these are my dreams and I'm going to do it. Like, beautiful. Love it. Do it. Like, we could use a little Delulu every now and then, right? It's what like kind of gets us going. And also, this latter half of this year and the beginning of next year is all about like this, and the beginning part of this year has all been about like finishing chapters. A lot of planets have moved from Pisces to Aries and then retrograde back to Pisces to like clean up shop to go back into Aries next year. And so we're doing a lot of refining, a lot of reflecting, a lot of cleaning up, a lot of closing chapters. Pisces is the last sign, Aries is the first sign. So we are really like, let's cleanse and clear and let's keep moving. So we've been dreaming and we're refining our dreams right now. And then we're moving forward and taking action. We've already had some tastes of what these planets are like in Aries. They can be intense. So it's like, let's make sure our dreams are what we're trying to make them. And they are aligned with us, because when that Aries energy comes, we're going to be taking action, and we better make sure that we're taking action on the right stuff. I just want to go back for a second because I didn't really mention some of these planets. So Monday the 29th, I had mentioned that the moon was going to square Neptune. So the moon in Capricorn squares Neptune, which is Aries. This is going to be in conjunction with what I already mentioned earlier about Monday. Neptune being in Aries is very much so like I just mentioned, the conjunction of the moon to Neptune on the 5th. But we might be feeling a little bit of friction on our dreaminess. Like, we need to be a little bit more grounded on our dreaminess when it comes to Monday's transit. And then we have the sun in Libra squaring the moon in Capricorn. So this is giving, like, we want balance and we want fairness, but maybe our emotions are like, not everything can be fair all the time. Not everything is equal parts this. Sometimes this person needs 5 pieces of pizza and you just need 1, okay? That's what that feels like. Tuesday, the moon in Capricorn is trining Venus, which is in Virgo. So moon trining Venus, moon is in Capricorn, grounded, trining Venus, Virgo and Venus and Virgo. This is very grounded love. This is very grounded emotions. This is very supportive. This is very stable. Try not to be too much of a perfectionistic on your emotions. Is kind of like Capricorn, Virgo, like that's very, very perfectionistic. And then we've got Moon in Capricorn squaring Mercury, which Mercury is in Virgo. I realized earlier. No. Mercury's in Libra. I'm so sorry. So we've got Capricorn again squaring Libra. We're wanting to communicate in a balanced way, in a fair way. We're wanting harmony, and our emotions are a little bit, again, like not everything can be balanced and fair, okay? And we're like maybe speaking out on it and not just like wanting or feeling like the love from that, or the love is missing from that, rather. Okay, Moon in Capricorn opposed Jupiter in Cancer. So Jupiter's in Cancer and it's opposing Capricorn. Be careful how you're feeling Tuesday night is what I'll say. You'll probably be in bed, but like just be careful how you're feeling, because it's going to be expansive and it's going to be emotional. Cancer's emotional and it's opposing our internal world, our emotions. So there's a lot of like friction there, and I'm not liking it. So if you can get fall asleep in a good mood is all I'll say. Okay, and then Wednesday, did I miss? Okay, so we have Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. That's pretty. I like that. That's like we're feeling supported in communicating. I mean, the square is like it's friction, but Mercury in Libra is like I think a beautiful placement. Like we're able to speak in a way that is balanced and fair. And Jupiter is an expander of emotions because it's in Cancer. So as long as like you're feeling good and you know how you're feeling is honest and not like based on something you're making up in your mind, then you should be able to communicate. But you might, because it is a square, you might struggle a little bit to communicate in a fair and balanced way. It might be like feeling a big emotions, and so it might like be throwing you off track from being able to communicate in a fair and balanced way. But again, if you are stable within your beliefs and how you feel, it should be fine. Okay. So I also talked about Moon trining Uranus, and Uranus is in Gemini. So when I'm talking about the ping-ponging back and forth for Wednesday and within our emotions, that is because Uranus is in Gemini. And so it's the unexpected, but it's like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, because Gemini can see two sides of everything. Gemini is indecisive, just like a Libra, because there's so much in their mind, and they can see, just like the scales of Libra, they can see all sides of everything. But Libra is more comfortable not making a decision, where like, and they're fine to go with the flow, whereas Gemini is like, I find to be analysis paralysis, to the point where like it debilitates them. So with that being said, just kind of sink into the energy, because it's trining. So it's like you may be feeling back and forth, but it's trining the moon, so it's supportive. But then the moon is conjuncting Pluto, as I had mentioned, on Wednesday the 1st at 3:29 p.m. PDT, and we've got Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto in Aquarius conjunct moon in Aquarius. I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier how it's going to be happening at the same time as trining Uranus. So same applies, where we're, kind of like, oh, I feel this way, and I also feel this way. But then it's like the shadow shows up. Pluto is the shadow. And maybe it's like, okay, you feel this way and you feel this way, but you're not doing anything about it. And then the shadow comes in and is calling you out for whatever it is that you're doing or not doing. And maybe calling you out because what it is you're doing or not doing is not in the best interest of humanity. So yeah, that's everything that I got for y'all this week. I am excited to be heading into my favorite month, and I will continue to be here every Monday for all my cunties. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, please put them down below. If you watch this video, like it. It helps me so much. And if you are looking for any type of reading, whether it be a natal chart or birth chart reading, I do those. I also do counseling through astrology as well. And I do synastry readings, which is relationship readings, and counseling through the relationship readings. So usually 2 or 3 people if it's employees, or it could be a relationship. It could be love, family, friends, coworkers, business partners. And then if you guys are going through anything major, any transits astrologically or changes within your life, I love to help you guys counsel y'all through it. So I will put, as always, my website and my Instagram link down below. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's always a pleasure showing up for y'all, especially when you continue to show up for yourselves.